America, stories of triumph often begin in the most unlikely places. This is one of those stories. The story of a boy born into segregation, poverty, and disadvantage, who rose not just to beat the odds, but to define what success really means. This is the real-life story of Herman Cain, a son of a chauffeur and a cleaning woman who became a corporate giant, a presidential candidate, and a symbol of possibility for millions. If you're searching for proof that humble beginnings do not determine your destiny, stay with me, because this story just might change your life. Herman Cain was born on December 13, 1945, in Memphis, Tennessee, during a time when racial segregation was not only a social reality, but a legal one. His family didn't have much. They lived modestly, without financial comfort or privilege. But what they lacked in material wealth, they more than made up for in values, faith, and determination. His father, Luther Cain Jr., worked 3 jobs. He was a janitor, a barber, and a chauffeur. He was a man who believed in hard work and self-reliance. He once told his son, "I don't want you to grow up and do what I do. I want you to go further." That message stuck with Herman for the rest of his life. His mother, Lenora, was a domestic worker. Together, they instilled in Herman a deep sense of discipline, integrity, and the belief that education could be the key to a better life. Growing up in the segregated South, Herman encountered plenty of reasons to doubt himself or feel limited by society, but he never accepted those limitations. Instead, he focused on doing his best in school. He excelled academically and earned a place at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, a historically black college with a proud tradition of excellence. There, he majored in mathematics, a field that required discipline and sharp problem-solving skills. After graduating in 1967, Herman didn't slow down. He was accepted into a master's program in computer science at Purdue University, one of the top engineering schools in the country, and he did it while working full-time as a ballistics mathematician for the U.S. Department of the Navy. Think about that for a moment. A young black man, working full-time in a demanding job while simultaneously earning a graduate degree in a complex field. That takes extraordinary commitment. He wasn't chasing fame or fortune at that point. He was building a foundation. One decision, one step at a time. With his education and work experience, Herman entered the corporate world, beginning with a role at the Coca-Cola Company as a systems analyst. But he wasn't content to stay where he was. He had ambition, not for power, but for impact. He moved on to Pillsbury, one of the largest food companies in America, where he quickly rose through the ranks. Within just a few years, he was promoted to vice president. It was an impressive achievement, especially considering where he started in life. But his most defining moment came when Pillsbury put him in charge of a struggling business, Godfather's Pizza. At the time, the chain was losing money and in danger of shutting down. Most people would have walked away, but not Herman. He took the challenge head-on. He visited stores, talked to employees, and made bold decisions. He focused on efficiency, leadership, and quality. In just 14 months, he had turned the company around, but he didn't stop there. He led a group to buy the company himself, becoming part owner and CEO. That move changed everything. He wasn't just running a business, he was building a legacy. And he used that platform to mentor others, to speak publicly, and to give back to the communities that raised him. He believed in ownership, not just of companies, but of your own life and your own decisions. As his business reputation grew, so did his voice in the national conversation. In 1994, during a nationally televised town hall meeting, Herman Cain challenged President Bill Clinton's healthcare plan. Speaking not as a politician, but as a business leader, he highlighted the real-life impact of policies on employers and employees. That moment launched him into the national spotlight. From there, Herman became a well-known speaker, author, and radio host. His message was always the same: character, hard work, faith, and personal responsibility. He believed that anyone, no matter their background, could rise to greatness if they were willing to put in the work and stay true to their principles. In 2011, he did something that few outsiders have the courage to do. He ran for President of the United States. His campaign focused on simple, bold solutions, most famously his 999 tax plan, which proposed a flat 9% personal income tax, 9% corporate tax, and 9% national sales tax. At one point, Herman Cain was leading in the national polls. Though he eventually stepped aside from the race, he had once again proven something essential, that your background does not determine your ceiling. He showed that courage, clarity, and conviction could take you from the back of a segregated bus to the front of a presidential debate stage. But Herman Cain's legacy isn't measured only in titles or headlines. It's measured in how many people saw his example and thought, if he could do it, maybe I can too. That's what makes his story so powerful. It's not just about business or politics. It's about human potential. He faced obstacles. He battled cancer. He knew what it was to fight uphill. But through it all, he held on to hope, faith, and the belief that the American dream still mattered. Herman Cain passed away in 2020, but his legacy continues to inspire. Because it proves that success isn't about where you start, it's about where you're willing to go. It's about using whatever you have, your time, your talents, your passion, and building something with it. He once said, "Success is not a function of what you have. It's what you do with what you have." That's a message worth remembering. So if you're listening to this today and wondering whether your dreams are too far out of reach, let this story be your answer. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need to have all the connections. You just need vision, courage, and the will to work for it. Herman Cain's story didn't happen by luck. It happened by choice, by discipline, by persistence, and by faith. And if he could rise from the humblest beginnings to the highest stages in business and politics, then so can you. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope it inspires you to believe, to act, and to write your own story of greatness.